a group of experts, which is why I pulled you up about the word experts, got together and to scare doctors out of their complacency, they invented the term pre-diabetes.
Why are carnivores panicking about these numbers going up at the moment, though?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the one that everyone doesn't understand. And I keep banging on about this, even the labs know it's unreliable because they're looking at what's called adjusted HbA1c. I mean, you're looking at blood glucose and average blood glucose. You can have two people with an average of 100, but they can be completely different. The amount of insulin to bring it down is huge. Now, a carnivore walks in, is allegedly these 105 milligrams per deciliter. Oh, that's really scary, it's too high. I mean, firstly, I don't actually agree with that terminology. I think that's not really the correct terminology.
There's all these carnivores that are now saying carbs are okay.
Well, like I say, I think a lot of them are changing for misinformation because the two most common things, or maybe the three most common things.
It's been a year since I gave up the green. And let me tell you, the mirror don't lie. Skin's glowing like the morning sun. Ain't felt bloated since day one. Got energy running through these veins. Feeling too good to ever complain. Muscles popping, mind on fire. Cut the sugar, lost a liar. Doctor said, what'd you do? I said, steak, baby, and a ribeye or two. A year of the meat. I'm standing tall. Strong bones, clear mind. That's not all. No crash, no crave, no shame, no cheat. Feeling brand new after a year of the meat. Sleep so deep I dream in gold. Never felt younger, growing old. Butter in my coffee, bacon in my pan. Guess fat made a brand new man. Friends still ask if I missed that bread. I laugh so hard I shake my head. Said I found peace in a sizzling pan. Now I'm living like a lion, not a lamb. Took time, took faith, took heed, but healing slow and steady, not sweet. My heart beats clean, my thoughts run clear. Ain't nothing like a carnival, yeah. A year of the meat. My body knows, from my boots to my brain, that power grows. No more fall, no more defeat. Just rhythm and fire in the year of the meat. Keep your care. I got confidence in a cast iron pan. Now that's living. Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
I just had to put that in there. What the hell is going on? We got to get Mark on here. Boys, we've got clone meat in Canada. Apparently, Victoria's telling us that it's been around the U.S. I kind of did some digging into that. GLP-1s are everywhere, including they're lighting up the mall pathways with the Glory, the Wegovy, the Ozempics. We're going to get into that. Mark has some stuff to talk about today about somebody saying something about not proving that the animal diet is from the past is sustainable. Something like that. We're going to get into all of it today. Thanks for being here to the meat of the matter. We'll get into it right after this.
Plaats is sick and fucking tired of seeing all the carnivore shit all over these fucking apps. No one cares if you only eat meat. Every single one of you have to identify by carnivore fucking Connie, carnivore Ken, whatever the fuck your name is, and you add carnivore to the end of it on your fucking bio is fucking weird. Weird. You're literally treating your diet like a fucking religion. A religion. A meat religion. Okay? Like, what in the absolute meat fuck is this shit? Your fucking boards with your eggs and your cheese and your fucking butter and your dates. Who cares? You can't shit. Your fiber intake is fucking zero, and you think you're just fucking trudging through life getting all healthy. Get the fuck out of here. No one cares. Your meat fucking ass. Your meat farts.
We're live. Like everybody on the planet except for us three is at Hack Your Health conference. It seems everybody's gone there. We're getting lots of feedback, lots of people posting stuff about it. That's great. I can only imagine it's a great time. I want to shout out to Byron Funk. That track today, wicked. I love that little country twang, that bluesy feel. Check out Carnivore Beats on YouTube and TikTok. Guys, he does our music. We appreciate him. We love you, Byron. Thanks for doing that. The carnivore community worldwide is all over the place. They're all over this conference. And a very special shout out to Jonathan. Get your head better, buddy. We're worried about you. That was crazy. Apparently got hit by a car, I think, or something. Like, wow. So our thoughts are with you, bro. And boys, it seems a crazy. We had a great week with Stephen Thomas coming on the podcast. We had an amazing talk with him, all things diabetes. That is on our channel. If you go to the Meat of the Matter channel, you can find that chat with Stephen Thomas. And then we did our own little roundtable talk. You know, Peter being a type 1 diabetic, me being a former pre-diabetic, Mark's been around and helping people resolve these things. So we had our own little talk. That is also up now on our channel. And yeah, man, it's been a kind of a crazy week, boys. What's going on?
Certainly has. The same shite over and over and over again.
It seems it never stops.
It's getting unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah. How's the government aspects of your two countries?
It's the same as your country, I think, Tony. It's not.
Yeah.
It's just pure control. That's all there is over here.
Right now we have no government, or at least one that is going away. We have to wait what happens, but we'll get quite an unstable government probably. And yeah, if they are going to do anything about healthcare or nutrition, it's going to be very little, and probably the usual stuff, I imagine.
Yeah. And speaking of governments, I think Christopher Brandlin's watching us on the Instagram. So shout out to him, guys. Support this guy. He's the real deal. He feels he's a human being. He cares about stuff that we all care about. And I think it's important that our leaders start following his example, because Canada has lost the plot, boys. Like, it's this week on social media, the whole thing about the clone meat has come up. And at first, when I first heard about it, I did some digging into it. And then Victoria mentioned a comment early, just before the show started, that they've been doing it in the US. And wow, I found out some stuff that it's kind of slippery, man. And I think this is the next evolution of things to be. And it basically, I'm going to put something up on the stage on this thing here. And this is what happened in Canada. This has been around since 2003, actually, which is wild. But it was considered a novel food. So any cloned animal it was categorized as a different thing. Well, our gracious, beautiful government now has decided that it's anything that's like the somatic cell nuclear transfer, which is basically like cloning. When they cloned Dolly the sheep, this is what they did. They've basically said that it's the same as a real animal. We don't have to tell you. And that's the problem, where, there's people on both sides screaming that it's not bad. Don't worry about it. It's still an animal, which may be true. But what can they do when they genetically modify things? That's my question. And if they don't have to admit or mention it, there's no transparency. What's going on behind in the lab? This opens up a whole other world of GMO, so to speak. And it's frightening, I think, and it's crazy how people just don't seem to. There's two sides. The people that are really, really into what they're eating are very concerned. The other side are like, who cares? What's the big deal? I don't know.
And what kind of cloning are we talking about, Tony? Is it cloning of animals? Is it so-called lab meat or cell-based cloning?
No, it's actually cloning the animals and then putting them into the food supply without telling people. So in theory, realistically, you'd think that that's just it's like a life. Instead of being born, it's being cultured. But the animal theoretically would be the same. But what do you think would happen when the scientists get involved? Do you think that they would be tampering with anything at all? Now, with this no transparency, they don't have to tell you this. They can do anything. So it's not lab grown meat. This is an animal being born from a cell culture, and them not telling you when you're eating your steak that it was a cloned animal.
I'm very curious because I didn't read the details about this, but what are the purported benefits of cloning?
Well, that's what they're saying. They're saying exactly that. They're saying it's the same thing. It's an animal. So
but that's not the benefit yet. So what? Or maybe they can choose their animal, and so that would be a so-called benefit. So they can select basically their animals for higher milk production or that sort of stuff.
And you know how what they're doing with the Bovaer thing, what they're doing about like when they interfere, when big anything interferes with stuff, you know that they're going to be. I don't think health is on the minds, and what gets pushed through law is frightening because they do these things, you know, without anybody having a say. And but that would mean, Peter, if you go to the store and you get your normal whatever grocery store you buy your meat from, they don't have to tell you where that meat's from. They don't have to explain.
But I think this is a very important distinction, right? I mean, I'm against both of them. Let me be clear. But
no, it's good. That's what we're talking.
If they can add features, we're talking about also genetic modification.
Yeah.
Or are they actually trending towards animal monoculture, basically, to select the best animal and?
Well, right. Selective breeding. I mean, the PETA people must be going nuts about this because, like, I mean, I don't know. Like, and then does it have a soul? I don't know. That's kind of weird. It opens up a whole new can, and it's crazy how social media is blowing up, like especially in Canada right now about this. And I mean, I'm just from an outside looking in. I would like to know if I ask my butcher or if I ask my grocer where the meat comes from. You kind of want to know, you know, and they don't have to tell you how many people are going to really care about it and what can they like. I think Victoria just mentioned. What can they add? What can they do to it? What can they, just it's just the same big money push into, and why? What's wrong with the old ways, right? What's wrong with raising cattle?
That's the $1 million question, isn't it?
We're in Canada, man. We have the land. It's not like we're what are they going to push everybody into 15-minute cities? Then they're going to have 15-minute farms. Like what's the deal? It's frightening, man. So I know people are concerned, and in my opinion, just it's good to be diligent. Go in and learn about this stuff and learn what you can do and what your rights are, I guess. Even though they're stripping away, it seems in all our countries, they're stripping away our rights just at will, and it's a frightening.
Yeah, one thing that you can think about is like with the vegetables, right? That you can modify the animals so that they can better resist bad circumstances on massive farms. So you'll get, so basically, maybe it will be like this, that if there's cloned meat, that is basically an indication for bad quality and badly raised animals in the first place. So besides the cloning, which obviously we don't know which risks it has, but just like with GMO right now, right? If there's GMO, it's usually used to enable the spraying of glyphosate. So there are bad motives behind it. So maybe the technique in itself theoretically could be even safe.
Yeah.
But all this stuff behind it.
And if you look at where do they get raised? What's their immune system like? Is there any kind of spill off effect of how they're like? We've said it before, and I say this all the time, man. Every single time we mess with Mother Nature, we get punched in the face. And that's the problem, Tony. Like, because the thing is, like, if they bring out this rubbish and it goes
forward, there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to struggle. There's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to be in a serious bad way. And these people are just not going to be held accountable. They're going to get away with it like they always do. They just get away with all this crap. Happens all the time. And this is just another step in the direction of what they want to do. And honestly, it's just criminal, because this is what's going to happen. And if they come out with this, and in the next 5 years, there's a lot of people out there that are really struggling with their health and they have no idea what's going on. And they're absolutely convinced that they went down this direction because it was going to lead to a healthier lifestyle. But then they find out, okay, there's something not right with me here. I don't feel good.
Yeah.
I need to go and see these people. They're not going to get the information that they need.
No doubt. And Victoria mentioned another thing. Cool. Thanks for the chats, guys. We like the comments. It's the gene replacement. I mean, this is a whole, big debate, and it should be talked about. I mean, I'm not saying yay or nay. I'm saying messing with Mother Nature without any. And what do you think these governments and these agendas have their best interests in mind? It's not our health. And that's what scares me. That's the idea, is that they're just another way to pull the wool over our eyes, get us hooked in, plugged into what they want. And, it's scary. And that's the thing in Canada, where all these roads are leading to, is, are we really free? And that's a tough question, because it appears that they're taking away everything, from killing ostriches to, telling us where to go, how far to be apart. We're not going to get into that stuff, but, putting stuff at will or by no choice, I just don't understand what we were all fighting for, World War II, freedom, all this stuff. And it seems to be flipped on its head now. And,
But you see what's going on now. I don't know what it's like in your country, Tony, but in my country, like if you go into a supermarket, most of the meat is already cloned already. Like the chicken in my country is cloned. They're pumping it up with chemicals. If you go to the meat stand and just look at the back, it has a list of ingredients in it already. Yeah. The chicken, like most of the chickens in my country, it's only about 60, maybe 80% chicken. And the rest of it is processed.
Yeah.
Same with the pork. Same with like some of the fish over here as well. So people are just looking at the front and saying, this is okay, but they haven't got a clue what they're putting into their bodies at all. And when they are walking around, they're saying like, there's something not right in me. But maybe it's because it's the fucking food that you're eating.
No, and this is what they call meat in research papers. It's this type of stuff.
Yeah.
And
that's another thing to look at for sure. Apparently, I just heard, I'm kind of digging into this a little bit now too, is apparently they're changing the GMO specifications on food, where they've got a new, they're just inventing another term now. So everybody's used to seeing GMO, and I think it's called bioengineered or something. But, now they're going to take away this is not GMO, but there's going to be a small little fine print. It's crazy how many tricks they have, and of all the standards, like even with eggs. Like, I don't know about you guys in your countries, but, free range means the bird can go outside. It has it doesn't matter how much they can go outside. So per bird, it has a space to go outside. That's free range. That has nothing to do with the birds roaming free on land. And it's a big trick. So is this just another way of trying to hide things and do craziness? Yeah. And I mean,
how is it currently how is it in your countries currently with the chickens? Because here you cannot get free range. I mean, the packages are still labeled free range, but they are obligated to keep them inside again.
Yeah, I just know like the safest way would be to go and meet the people that raise the chickens on the land, and that would be the best way to do it. I know it's hard for some people. I mean, people that live.
Yeah, but here it's not possible because it's literally not allowed to do so right now.
You're not allowed to have chickens anywhere.
No, because of there's probably some bird flu outbreak somewhere in some region again.
It's over here.
Oh my!
We're going through it at the moment.
Wow. Because you guys know, they just culled a bunch of ostriches in BC, where I live, just up north, a little bit north, and it was in the name of the bird flu, but they weren't sick. They apparently, a couple of the birds had it a year ago, and then they herd immunity kicked in, and then the government made this, and it was like this long drawn out ridiculousness, and then they just executed all the birds. They wouldn't allow them to test them, so there was no signs. Like that the owners of the farm wanted to test the birds to say, look, there's no more disease, and they wouldn't let it happen. If they did, they'd be going to jail. It's just nuts, just craziness. And that seems to be, you know, the way that we're all headed to. I mean, they're stripping away our rights to have, you know, clean water and good wholesome food, and in the name of who and in the name of what? That's the thing that's scary, and it seems like we're getting it from all sides. So I guess I won't be moving to the Netherlands anytime soon.
No.
Well, I'm trying to. I don't know. Canada's wearing my patience thin, guys. I don't know how you guys are and where you're at in the chats. It's just nuts. And let's see what Lisa's saying in Wales. Okay, sell his eggs. Okay, there you go. Nice loophole. Good, because that's something that people don't realize. There is a loophole with raw dairy too, especially where I'm from in Canada. If it's food not for human consumption. Yeah. That's all good. Like that makes sense, right? Like I'm going to buy it, but I'm not going to drink it. It's craziness. So it seems like they're clamping down everywhere, guys. We got to, like Brian says, Carnotopia. We need one. Where is it going to be? Where is it going to be? So speaking of all the nonsense of the government pushback, I went to the store. I went to the mall. I think you guys saw this thing I did on TikTok. The funny thing was, I hadn't seen it like that yet, so I got to try and find it here. Where do I have it? And Mark, I know you're gonna have a lot to say, and it seems this is it just won't go away.
I love that video.
20 views on TikTok.
Mental.
That's
mental.
Wild. I was I've seen the billboard ads. I've seen them in the chemists. I've seen kind of the billboards off where there's medical hospitals and stuff. This was right in the mall, right in the middle of the mall. And that was only one of the multiple signs that was on rotation throughout the whole place. What is it seems like this is Ozempic and Wegovy seem to be like they're the Pepsi and Coke. And there's pretty soon they're going to have taste challenges. They're going to set up booths and pick your best GLP-1. So that is frightening. And I don't know how it is where you guys are, but the savings little quote, do you see on the bottom there where it says just Wegovy.ca and get great savings?
I got sent a lot of videos of the same topic this week. A lot. I don't know if you've seen the Trump when he was sitting down, he was talking about he's actually gonna put these Ozempic drugs for a half price. Did you see that video?
No. Oh my.
Okay, well I'll have to send it on to you. But anyway, he was going on. He was addressing the nation, saying that he's gonna actually make them more affordable for people because they can't afford it. So he's saying he's gonna bring out a law that will make these affordable. And then about 2 minutes into the conversation, one of the guys in the back who was standing up watching him fainted, and this guy's on Ozempic.
Oh my God.
On Ozempic. This guy's taking Ozempic. And then there's another story this week as well. I don't know if you've seen the Robbie Williams one.
No.
Robbie Williams, he's been on this Ozempic. I don't know how long, maybe about a year or two. He's convinced taking these injections, he's going blind. But he's telling the nation, it doesn't matter. I'm taking these injections because I want to lose weight. Honestly, this is the problem we're up against. We have these influencers, and then we have the president, the most powerful man in the world, that is just endorsing this shit. He's just saying, listen, I'm going to make this affordable for you. The reason why you're struggling is because X, Y, and Z. Don't worry, I have the solution for you. It's unbelievable. We're normalized, and it's the same in my country. Yeah. We're normalizing it everywhere. Nobody talks about eating properly in my country anymore. Every second person that I talk to, they're saying to me, Mark, I'm struggling. I have type 2 diabetes. I'm struggling with my weight. I'm on this Ozempic and it's doing wonders for me. It's doing absolutely wonders for me. And I do be shaking my head. I'm like, why? Give me one reason why you're on these injections. Please tell me, because
the same is
the problem is, sorry, Peter. The problem is, like, you mightn't see the problem now, but I guarantee you eventually you will. And that's what we're seeing with Robbie Williams. Robbie Williams has been on this now for such a long time, and now he thinks he's gone blind. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah, and I was about to say that the same is happening in the Netherlands as far as it comes to the PR for Ozempic and all those things. The only thing that you don't see are the advertisements on the street, because they are not allowed by law. So that's a good thing, at least. So at most they can maybe advertise things like mild painkillers that you can get at the drugstore. But anyway, it's still promoted, of course, on social media, on Dutch channels, by users of Ozempic and Wegovy, by some doctors, maybe even sometimes. Although that's also still, it's not so overt as in Canada or the US. But things are happening, and in the government also they have been talking about including it in the base insurance package here in the Netherlands. And the numbers that they mentioned, I think they mentioned that 1 out of 10 people would be allowed to use it, would satisfy the criteria to use the drug. So that's like, I don't know how they came up with these numbers. Probably every person that is overweight or something like that. But I mean, just imagine the burden on besides the whole insanity of prescribing this drug, also imagine the burden on the healthcare system in terms of cost. And you could save so much by just making these people healthy in the first place.
Yeah, because I put up a video earlier on, and if you guys get a chance to watch it, because when you look at the end, the doctor says by half in the price, we're going to lose it on $200 million or something like that, 200 million pounds or something like that. And then he says our priority is to look after people, to keep people healthy. So losing out on 200 million, don't worry about it. Our priority is the safety of the people. But then when you look at how much Ozempic made last year, over $13 billion in revenue that these people made. Do you honestly think 200 million is going to touch the surface with these people?
No,
it's nothing, because I can guarantee you the people that couldn't afford the injections, they're going to be able to afford them now. So that 200 million is they're probably going to make more money out of that.
Holy shit.
Like it's frightening. I can tell you now, in the next 2 or 3 years, every single person is going to be on Ozempic. And you know, it's even worrying, because I only found out this during the week. One of the instructors, the gym that I go to at the moment, she's taking it. She's a fitness trainer. You know, she's teaching people how to lose weight. And in the background, she's taking weight loss injections. And I was told this off a reliable source.
Jesus. I got to let my cat out 1 second.
But yeah, that's what I was told during the week. I was like, this person is teaching people how to lose weight. She's struggling to lose the weight, and she's taking Ozempic.
That's, you know, and we're going to get into that a little bit more of what you wanted to talk about like to tie this into peptides, because these are things that are just, you know, anybody who's watching, go watch our interview with Krista DeWeese. She will change your mind about Ozempic. If you're even thinking about it, I know there's some people that are, well, it might be just, let's microdose it, or you need to see the whole picture. And these things were never, I don't know. They're so far from natural. Once again, God and Mother Nature, like we're messing with stuff, and we're seeing it now. Like, I mean, obviously the blindness and these horrible side effects. And what do you think happens when people get a good thing, a little bit of a good thing? Keep going. Let's do more.
But why don't they not just ask the question, why do I need to microdose this?
Yeah.
Why don't I just say, well, hang on a second, is there not another way I can do this? So you're telling me that I can't lose weight naturally.
Yeah.
I have to do this. I can't control my hunger any other way. I have to take this microdose.
Yeah.
Like, that's what baffles me, that We don't go back and ask these questions because, like you said, like this never happened with our ancestors. It never happened like over 200 years ago. We never had these issues. Obesity now is huge at the moment. And I guarantee you, in that time, these people would have been told just go on a low-calorie diet. The reason why you're struggling with your weight is because you're not counting your calories. I'm pretty sure they did all this. I guarantee if you spoke to any obese person at the moment and you asked them the question, how come you never lost the weight? Well, how come that it was never sustainable? I guarantee they'll turn around and say to you that I was always hungry all the time. I couldn't stick to these numbers. It was never sustainable.
Yeah.
So what you should have done was you should have said, well, maybe the plan that you've been given all the time was never going to work in the first place. Maybe the information that you've been given over and over and over again, you need to do more research and to look into something different. Yeah. Maybe you need to stop counting calories and learn that your hormones actually control weight loss here. There's I always say this is a big difference between weight loss and body fat. We're focusing on weight loss at the moment because everybody's on a restrictive diet. And then when you take the carbohydrates out of your diet, they're saying the reason why you're taking the carbohydrates out and you're losing weight is because you're taking the carbohydrates out. So you're losing all this water. But these people are not going back and saying, well, why do I need to carry all this excess water in the first place?
Yeah.
Like, is there a reason why I need to carry this excess water? And then when I come along and say, well, this water retention is leading to problems, inflammation, joint pain. It's leading to like your mental health turning to shit. This is all inflammation. They're looking at me and they're thinking, no, you're crazy. You're absolutely crazy. I should be eating my carbohydrates. The reason why I'm failing to lose weight is because I'm not disciplined. No, guys, it's the wrong information.
Yeah. And I mean,
it's scary.
You know, especially in this space, we're seeing it over and over again. Like the people that are, you know, resolving these, you know, weight loss, body fat percentage loss it's a great side effect to getting healthy. Like that's the beautiful thing about, you know, what we all do. And, you know, I mean, I've always been a short, fat kid my whole life. I was that short, could not get past the short, chunky, you know, and I am at 50 years old. How? It's not, you know, it's not genetics. It's clear, you know, it's the stuff I was eating. And it was not necessarily the amount either. You know, it was the quality. It was, you know, getting back to basics. And now my genetics have been, maybe they're true now. Maybe they're right. But I mean, my body fat percentage is pretty good. I can keep it off. I'm not gaining. I was gaining body fat every year incrementally, unless I was, and I had my bouts of hard workouts and 3-month goals, but it did nothing. Like I could never see my abs. I could never, like, you know, I always had a double chin. It was this, and it's not, all this stuff is just not true. And I'm not a genetic freak, you know, like this, we're seeing it with your clients, Mark, my clients, like getting healthy is the way to go for longevity even. You know what the biggest thing I see, Tony, working with people is that the punishment. It's like if they eat something off plan, they need to punish themselves the next day. That's what I see all the time, the mentality of these people. And I'm trying to get them out of that. I'm trying to get them out, like their freedom around food and just being more relaxed. Because you shouldn't have to chase weight loss. You shouldn't have to feel guilty that if you have something that's very, very high in, like, let's talk about calories here, like caloric value or macros or whatever. You shouldn't have to say to yourself, oh my God, I've eaten that steak. I feel guilty of eating that steak. I'm going to actually go to the gym the next day and do an hour on the Stairmaster and try and burn up 900 calories, because that's the mentality of people at the moment. And that's what we're going at the moment, because these instructors are saying it's okay to eat these foods, but just make sure you go to the gym the next day. Yeah.
Go to the gym the next day and do that hour cardio. You won't feel as guilty. But that's the wrong information. Why are you telling me to do that? Why can't I not just be happy around food, that when I eat something, I'm happy? I don't need to think straight after, oh my God, I've eaten this. Now I need to do all this now, or I need to go for a walk after this. Why?
Yeah. And that comes down to like how your brain's working too. Like all this stuff it's all part of it, right? Like, you're feeling good, your brain's working well, you're able to deal with this stuff. Like, it's so crazy how people think that they can just, punish themselves or torture themselves and then torture themselves the other way, and it's crazy. I mean, I'm doing a thing, like I'm trying to get this together with my cat. Okay. Actually Fleur's cat. But when I moved here with Fleur, when we got serious, and Thelma was a freaky cat. Like, she freaked out over food, and she was always like screaming at people whenever somebody was eating anything, and she would be eating her cat food, and she would like eat it all up and then want others. It was crazy. She was a neurotic freak. We put her on a carnivore diet. All of it went away. Her brain she's so calm now. She eats when she's hungry. She asks for food when she's hungry. And then when she's done, she leaves. She doesn't need food all the time.
That's what it comes down to. Yeah, that's what it comes down to. It's just that food freedom, isn't it? Yeah. It's just like you're not thinking about food anymore. I can only speak for myself. Yeah. That when I was on the standard diet, I was always eating every 2 hours, and then I was always thinking, like, I'm not happy here. I need to make sure the next day I go to the gym. At the weekend, if I ate something off plan, I'd be like, no, this is taking over my life.
Yeah, but you were talking about guilt, right?
Yeah.
And I think guilt plays a major role also in making people susceptible to taking medicine in the long run. Because every time that you try a diet, well, you get these qualifications, like also mentioned here in the comments, like, yeah, you're just a pig and you have no will power and that sort of things. I mean, maybe not explicitly, but these feelings you'll get. And so if you failed on a diet, it's also your fault. And I mean, I would be more susceptible if I feel bad like this. And I'll just listen to the next doctor and take his advice. Yeah, well, maybe we should try Ozempic, for example, or maybe I'm not strong enough to do it with diet. So let's go for Ozempic. That sort of thoughts you'll get.
And see, that has a knock-on effect here, because when you're being told that you weren't disciplined enough, you didn't try hard enough, that affects your mental health. Mm-hmm. It's like if you feel like you're the one with the problem. Okay. Well, and that's what leads to these people going down the medication route, because they feel like, I'm broken, I can't sort this myself, so I need to go on this weight loss injection. This is what really, really annoys me, because you can clearly see that you can see what's going on here. When you fail at something, whether it's a diet, the next stage is you blame yourself. The guilt kicks in. Then you're looking at yourself in the mirror and saying, you're getting emotional, you're getting depressed, and then you end up adding more bad habits into your life. You're sitting down, you're looking at your phone, you're watching TV, you're letting people creep in on you and saying that, yeah, they're right. Where what you should be doing is you should be getting rid of all that rubbish and doing a little bit more research and say, well, hang on, like I mentioned earlier, is everything that I've been told at the moment right? Do I really need weight loss injections to solve this problem? Or can I actually solve this myself? Because the information is out there. It's all over social media. Yeah. It's all over social media. You just need to go out and look for it, because that's what I had to do. When I was in a really, really dark place 5 years ago with my mental health, I was convinced that there's nobody that can help me. Nobody, because I've done it all. I've been in the fitness industry. Like, I have to go out and look for this myself.
Yeah.
And I did. I came across a podcast and it just changed my life.
Yeah, it's important that, and that's the thing. Is it really that simple on just looking at what you're eating? And in my opinion, it is. Like, that's the first place to start. What is food? Never mind carbs, fat, and protein. What is food? What are we supposed to be eating? If you start from there and start figuring it out, the brain works better. Like, you start getting all these butter, butter is brain food, it's clear. And, how much butter, maybe we can argue, but we need those nutrients, and for our neurotransmitters to function, it's important. And like Peter, when you started your sort of your type 1 journey and you were eating carbs, how do you find your brain on a higher fat diet? like what thinking wise, because regardless of what you're eating, you have to inject insulin. So when you're eating carbs, what's the difference now that you've been sort of doing this diet for long enough? The brain factor. What's different?
So maybe not so much carbs in general or as a direct effector, but the fact that your blood glucose becomes more stable, that definitely helps. And besides that, of course, I also experienced the mental clarity when you do fasting or when you skip a meal and that sort of things. When you are in ketosis, that helps a lot.
Yeah.
But in a direct sense, not so much. So if you're not diabetic, I guess you can sort of get away with it and not notice too much. But of course, you won't have the benefit of the ketosis part and the fat burning and all those things. And so, and of course, if you are eating lousy food, which I didn't do also with carbs when I was diabetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be sort of okay if I managed my blood glucose, which of course wasn't all the time. So when it goes wrong, they go out of range, you notice it immediately.
Yeah.
And actually, just to add one thing, that if you're high on sugar, you'll notice for about half an hour or the first 15 minutes, I don't know how long, but you notice actually that you are feeling great. You might actually function very well and you'll be very quick in conversations and in thinking and that sort of things. But then it goes all the way around.
Well, I have a confession to make, boys. I started the 21-day beef, butter, bacon, and eggs challenge with some peeps. Victoria's in. Love it. We're doing it together. But I was like, well, let's go into experimental mode. Of course, no benefit to myself whatsoever. Went out and got some ice cream the day before. So I was like, well, it's going to be Christmas, and I'm going right through the holidays. So I'm just doing this. I'm not stopping for Christmas. I'm eating beef. But we had some ice cream. I swear to you, the yesterday morning when I woke up, starving. I eat once a day, usually usually after 3:00 in the afternoon, in the evening, starving. And I was like, this is insane. One, little bit of ice cream and I'm starving. My whole brain is working differently.
Yeah.
So I've been doing this a long time. I'm fairly metabolically flexible. I kind of had a lot of ice cream, but
yeah,
I could have sugar from time to time and I don't feel that way. But this one, I woke up and I was like, I need to eat breakfast. I need to eat something right now. Wild. Yeah.
That happened to me as well. I can't remember. It was about 3 or 4 years ago. We were in a hotel and they gave us this big bowl of fruit. And I just said, I'll have a banana. It won't cause any harm. Guys, I went through the whole bowl. There must have been around 10 pieces of fruit in that. But then it led on to something else. I said to her, like, listen, I need to get something else. Yeah. So I went down the road. No word of a lie. I finished half a box of cereal. Half a box of cereal. I put it all into the bowl, put some milk into it. And you, Tony, the next day I woke up. Didn't feel great, but I was ravishing.
Yeah.
I was ravishing for food.
So this is kind of what happened in my brain. Oh my God, this is awesome. This is delicious. Holy crap. Then I was done. Like I didn't even I was done. By the time I was finished, it was like, I don't even ever want to eat sugar again. It's gross. And then I fell asleep. About 20 minutes later, I was snoozing and woke up and went to bed and then woke up the next morning. So I'm like, just looking at that glucose roller coaster, looking at all the stuff that happened to me. And I'm like, this is more than just a sugar, a treat. Like I'm looking at this going, because I'm pretty regimented with food. I don't ever get hungry. I woke up and I was like, okay, this is a clear sign that it does more than what we say it does. Like, I don't care if you think sugar is good or bad or whatever. There is things that happen that it does. And I, in my opinion, I believe people get resilient and they get used to things, brain fog, fatigue, feeling like shit, being hungry. They get used to that and that becomes normal. And then all of a sudden you realize it's not normal and you can really see it. And, like when I'm helping clients and friends and family, you've done it, both of you, is become your N of one. You need to feel yourself. And anytime I cheat or go off the path, in my sort of regimented diet, I become like Peter, you do this too. You do this a little bit more extreme, but you become the witness. You witness yourself feeling things that that may happen. And
can I? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no, but that's the wisdom. That's the wisdom that you gain for yourself. You feel these things, and it's really hard to explain to somebody that this happens when they have no clue of, what their true feelings, what their true intuitions, what their true signals are.
No, I was just going to add that what we're seeing at the moment with carnivores going back to carbohydrates, I feel that if you're having sugar, even if it's in moderation or you're flexible, if the sugar is still there, that addiction is always going to be there.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to eliminate it full stop. I had to go full line base and say, you know what? No, this is not good for me. This sets me off. And when this is what we're seeing at the moment with these people going back onto these foods. The question is this: what made you want to go back to there in the first place? That would tell me, okay, the addiction was never gone in the first place.
Yeah.
Because if you ask me the question, can you go back and eat carbohydrates, Mark? Can you put your hand on your heart and say to me, I will never touch a carbohydrate again? I can tell you right now, I will never touch another carbohydrate again because I don't miss it. That addiction is gone. It's gone out of my life.
Yeah.
I walk past places now and I can smell the sugar and it turns me off.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It does nothing for me. I live with two people that eat carbohydrates. Doesn't do anything for me at all.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the food that I have. It does something for me. I enjoy eating the same food every day. So it doesn't do anything for me. So that's what I would ask these people. I'm absolutely convinced that the addiction is still there. And that's the reason why they have to keep bringing these carbohydrates back in. Because I don't follow this metabolically flexible term. Because, first of all, what's flexible about eating carbohydrates in the first place? Why do you need to eat them in the first place? Apart from a body composition standpoint, which we all know we can all get in amazing shape eating carbohydrates. But tell me another benefit of eating carbohydrates.
Yeah, well, the only flexibility that you need is the possibility to eat carbohydrates in case of scarcity when there is no animal products, basically. And you are still able to do that, and your body will adapt for a few days, and you'll get by with eating carbohydrates when it's really, really necessary given the circumstances. But and that makes evolutionary sense. I mean, omnivorism as an opportunity, as a sort of survival mechanism. I mean, it makes no sense that you are an obligatory omnivore. I mean, that's just silly. That reduces your survival chances.
And that's a good point, Peter, for sure. Because like we think optimal and tolerable and toxic. And just because you can doesn't mean it's good or the best. And when you're battling your physiology from decades of not knowing and doing, one or two times, where is that? Is that true when your body's saying, I need this? Where is it coming from? Is it coming from your dormant DNA coding that just all of a sudden wakes up and says sweet potatoes are awesome? Like, where is it coming from? So I think we got to tread very carefully, and I know how you feel about it, Mark, and I agree with you. Everybody's you got to be very careful with this stuff. And I mean, you get cocky with everybody does. Everybody gets comfortable, and then you think you're okay, and then you bring things back in. Where does that lead you 2 years from now? Where does that lead you next week? Some people, all the shit flies, and they're eating carbohydrates and they binge for 2 weeks. That should show something. It maybe not happen to everybody, but that should show. Like Peter, I'm sorry to throw you under the bus, buddy, but you had a couple things this summer that were like, holy shit, this is happening to me. Like, I got to get back on track, and you had to
small amounts, right? I mean, it's like pure chocolate, or a thing like during exercise eating some carbohydrates. Not much. I mean, we're talking about, seriously about less than 50 grams per day. So it's definitely low carb still.
Yeah.
And you made a key point as well, Tony, when you said that the most important thing is you need to experiment on yourself. I think that's important because I say this regularly to clients that 6 months into this, if you're doing the carnivore diet, we need to go back and we need to do experiments. And the reason why I want to do this, because I want to show people how powerful this stuff is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I do this all the time. 6 months, say 8 months into it, I'll give them an experiment. I'll say, right, go back and eat the food that you used to enjoy.
Yes.
So they'll say to me, are you serious, Mark? You want me to go back and eat ice cream? I'm saying, yeah, go back and eat it. And I want you to give me the feedback straight away. So the next day they're giving me the feedback. That's a box ticked. So they know exactly what's happening.
Yeah.
I might do it about 2 weeks later. I might say, okay, that was a processed food. Now I want you to eat a clean carbohydrate. Just eat like a potato, rice, pasta, whatever. Again, I want the same information. Give me the information.
Yeah.
So again, another box ticked. And then I'm explaining to them, okay, this is the reason why this is happening.
Yeah.
So they're not just going through the process, they're understanding the process. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly why I'm doing this 21-day challenge right now with the BBBE. I've done this 2 or 3 times a year. It's not anything much different than what I do, but it's amazing to see what happens when you just get systematically and regimented and become that experiment. Because the people that aren't carnivores that are doing this is their sort of gateway into what they need. It's not about carnivore. This is about breaking everything down and feeling the difference when you give your body a little bit of time without the noise. And that's the same thing when I do the same thing with clients. It's like 6-7 months, depending on the situation, obviously. If they're supremely sugar addicted or diabetic, different story. But anyway, with context, okay, you've done some great work. Remember when you were talking about you want that pasta? Go have a pasta. What? And then they do, every time. Holy cow! Something presents
straight away.
Something presents itself. You know, whether it's like pain, inflammation, some mood, sleep, something will present itself, and they're like, "Wow, interesting." And that just empowers them, right, Mark? So and that's what you're doing there. You're empowering people to make their choices, to feel it, which is huge.
Yeah, because that. Sorry, Peter. Just one more thing. Because that's the key thing here. You're giving them the choice. It's like, okay, you've seen what happens here. Now this is your choice. Are you going to do it again?
Yeah.
And the thing is, are you actually going to learn from this, or are you going to keep these foods in? Because more than likely, when you become fat adapted and you're in ketosis, you feel great. You feel fantastic. Your body's completely clean, detoxed, all that kind of stuff. The minute you start adding these foods in, it impacts your body.
Everything. Yeah.
Everything comes back straight away. That feeling that you just don't like.
Yeah.
And I like to get that information from people. Do you like this feeling?
Yeah.
They'll say to me, no, I hate it. Those headaches, I don't want to go through that ever again. I'm like, okay, well, you need to make that decision. This is going to be your choice going forward. That when it comes to Christmas or Easter or birthdays or anything like that, before you go down and say to yourself, I'm going to make that decision to have that carbohydrate, you need to go back 6 months ago and say, I had this carbohydrate. How did you feel the next day? And if it's worth it, go ahead and do it. If it's not worth it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah, well, I experienced a little bit a similar aspect when it comes to food noise and food clarity, let's call it like that. And because about 1.5 week ago, my sensor, my CGM was finished and I didn't have a new one. So I would need to finger prick like every hour to check my blood glucose. So unconsciously, consciously, I was thinking like, what can I do to make things easier? Because blood glucose management with certain foods becomes easier than others, also on a carnivore diet. And I unconsciously made a lot of decisions what not to eat, and things included cheese, obviously, because cheese is really a big one. I know somehow that the insulin levels are high after cheese, and you need to compensate for the fact that you eat cheese for hours and hours after eating it. So you have to be mentally aware of it. And if you don't have a CGM, you don't get the alert. So it's going to be a burden on your attention span, let's say. But things like red meat even. So I reduced my red meat intake. And for during those days, I started eating more things like sardines. And sardines, well, maybe some people have seen the video from Nick Norwich. It's a superfood rich in exactly the right protein, so probably very little gluconeogenesis, relatively speaking. All the nutrients you need, not many calories. Let's not discuss the word calories, but so nutrient-dense food, very little glucose response for all the nutrients that you get in your body. And it worked, really. So
there you go.
I could eat in the evening. During sleep, I could do everything without the CGM. Normally, I would not sleep without the CGM because I would use the alerts to wake up and all those things. And my insulin levels dropped also during the day. So
I first came across this about 2 or 3 years ago when I followed Courtney Luna. Courtney Luna always struggled with her weight. And then she went on this sardine fast, and she was only, I think she was only having 2 tins of sardines a day, which wasn't a lot of food. But the funny thing was she was full. So when we look at if we go back to what calories again, like she was only having on average maybe around 450, 500 calories a day. Now, if you said that to the average person, they'd be like, that's crazy. You're going to starve. But you have 2 cans of sardines. And you tell me if you're you tell me if you're still starving after it.
There's an off switch for sure.
These experiments are very useful. So think about some weird situation that you end up in, and think about how am I able to get all the nutrients, and would I feel great? So if I can only buy fish, or if you could even think about the situation if there is no red meat. What am I going to do to find the best solution? And for me as a diabetic, I also sometimes think about the thing, what if the production of insulin stops? How would I mean, obviously I cannot survive it in the long run, but what would my approach be to increase my odds of surviving it if, like, say, in 3 or 4 weeks production recommences and that sort of things. But there are a lot of things in your mind, the things that you know, maybe even consciously, but during the day or while making decisions about what you eat, you don't think about these things, or you don't fairly think about it. So probably we make 99% of decisions without conscious thought. Conscious thinking during the day. So if you put yourself in a weird situation like this, and so that's why probably BBBE 21 days is also very good, because you restrict yourself and you have to think about what you're doing.
And I mean, it's not a bad idea. It's like, I often say, I don't want to get too tinfoil hatty here, but being able to fast for a significant amount of time is probably a good tool to have, especially, in the unforeseen future of all the state of the world. I'm just saying, I don't want to speak doom and gloom, but what a great tool to be able not to worry about food for a few days, a week even. You know what I mean? Like, how many people do you see out there could go 4 hours without eating? Like, it's unbelievable. I was just in Costco. I'm just doing a video about my first big grocery haul. And I was there to film my stuff that I was buying, and I was filming people's buggies. I was like, look at this. There's no food in this shit.
Yeah,
like, none. Like, there's just carts full of junk and chips, and it's like, holy cow, man.
And they're actually eating while they're walking around this.
Samples in. I laugh because, like, people get stressed when they go to Costco. I love it. I just observe. I just watch people. The parking, I park far away so I get my steps in.
Absolutely,
simple, right? Yeah. Park as far as you get a nice little walk, and then in there, I just laugh at the sheepery, or you'll call it the sheepery, the eyes, and everybody's like aggro and mad because they're bug. And I'm just like, let's go to the meat section, grab a couple huge chunks of beef, just do my thing. Unbelievable experience though to watch people with their snacking, like all those the samples. Holy cow!
Yeah.
Wow.
Now I love the way I don't stress over food anymore. That's the biggest thing I took away from this, is that I can go the whole day, do podcast work, and I'm not thinking about food at all. And when everything is done, I'll just sit down, I'll have my meal, and I'm happy.
Yeah,
That's
the only
it.
reason in the supermarkets why I still look at the shelves is just occasionally out of pure curiosity.
Yeah.
Because it's just almost
It's just
funny what you
it's
see,
just built.
right?
Yeah, it's just built into your head. And it's I'm the same as you guys. I'm walking around the stall and I'd be looking at people's trolleys and like, holy shit, it's really bad. It's really, really bad. And you want to go over and say to them like, listen, get half of that stuff out of your trolley and go over to the meat section, will you?
No doubt. And you know, like I'm doing a little a piece on decoding food labels. I thought I was just gonna go in and pick a couple things and like I'm like, oh my God, this is gonna be an hour-long thing. Cause like, holy shit, Mark. I mean, we've talked about it before on this podcast.
Yeah.
We've talked about it. Like just the chemical additives and the stuff and how it's different in different countries. Like speaking of the clone meat stuff, like it's all different. Like every standard is different. And if you look ingredients, it's craziness. Like, and all this, like you got to watch sardines in oil, you know, what oil? They're canola. Some of them are canola.
Exactly.
Oil.
Yeah. That's another good point as well. Yeah.
And I know I have a lot of friends that hate me because they ask me a question, they don't like the answer, and then they start. It's like as soon as you explain to them a couple ingredients, they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, did you know?" And they're like, "I hate it." Then why'd you ask me? But yeah.
I was the same last week, Tony. A woman reached out to me about her son, and she just asked me for advice. And I sent this message to Pierre about type 2 diabetes, and she actually reached out to me. Like I didn't reach out to her. She just asked me, "Have you any advice?" And when I gave her the advice, she just came back at me and started screaming at me and saying, like, you can't be giving me this misinformation. These doctors are looking after my son. These are saving my kid's life. And I'm like, well, you reached out to me. I'm just giving you this information. Yeah. And then it was again, she reached out to me. It was 2 days ago actually, and again she was asking the same question. That our son is really, really struggling at the moment. He's gaining a lot of weight. Do you have any tips? And I'm like, Michelle, just get him off the carbohydrates. Simple, just get him off the carbohydrates. And she was like,
for you, Byron.
And so it's just like, what do you want me to do? All you can do is just give these people advice. That's all you can do.
Yeah, I know, man. It's crazy. Like, you know, and that's the thing that actually makes me mad about this world right now is I have questions. I like asking questions. I don't like the answers, but I need to know them. And it's when you can be the honest, and I have with diet and lifestyle too, is you have to bring some honesty to yourself to the table here. And it's like when you start getting really dirty honest with yourself, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. Sometimes it's a little frightening, but you know, it's
you have to understand you have a problem in the first place.
Yeah.
No,
you really do.
The thing that happened when I did this, when I was in the situation with the CGM, I basically had to honestly ask myself, like, is this the best food to get through the days without the CGM? And then the honest answer is I should reduce the cheese, and I'm still reducing the cheese. And now that I have this one here again, but it's so also on the carnivore diet, there's a lot of stuff like people eating way too much dairy or not enough fat, and there can be all kinds of things happening that are adverse for your health if you don't keep on thinking about what you're eating. I mean, the carnivore diet, just eating meat doesn't mean that everything is automatically all right as well.
Well,
and I think also Lisa Wiedemann, for example.
Yeah.
I mean, even if she has done everything right, I mean, let's not go into the discussion whether she took a little bit of alcohol or not or whatever. Let's assume that she did everything right. Even then, there can be things that we don't know about. I mean, we don't even know what is 100% right. So,
Well, you hit that nail on the head there, Peter, is to think. If your brain's not working right, whoops, you're in trouble. You know, the ability to think is another thing that I think is underestimated in the world right now. Like, I mean, I know we talk about this quite often as the carnivore clarity, but there's something that happens when you can start actually thinking, because I think a lot of people can't think, or they're not able to, sadly, because of all the unforeseen circumstances in our world, our food supply, our medical system, our environmental toxins. And I mean, I don't want to get too far into, I'll put my tinfoil hat on for another day. But there's stuff that is is hindering our way to think. And I think that's important.
And sadly enough, in modern society, you need to think to get the right food, because normally in the right circumstances, it should not be necessary to think at all about what you eat. It's just instinct. I mean, I like intuitive eating, and I think that once you are on the carnivore diet, you sort of are able to do it, but you always have to be there, guard yourself from influences from modern society, because even us, we can be tempted again to eat sugars if we end up in the wrong circumstances.
Shout out to Target Prime Rib. How you doing, buddy? Thanks for popping by. Thanks for all the comments. Well, boys, I think we can wind this one up today. I wanted to set up next week, because Mark, you brought up Wick. Well, we had in our little group, we had I just watched these guys talk, actually, because they're on a different time zone. So by the time they're up and talking, I'm sleeping, and when I'm up there, anyway, you guys were talking about peptides, and I think there's something to that's very important, because all over, not only the spiritual community, everywhere is creeping in these biohack peptide things. Is it good? Is it bad? I've got my opinions. I know, Mark, you have yours, and Peter, you have yours. But let's get into it a little bit deeper next week. Let's talk about some of these things that might be problematic, might be beneficial. But let's leave it open to talk about it. Unless,
I think it's an important conversation, because the way I see it is they're bringing out all these. I don't have any issues with peptides. I just want to make that clear. I don't have any issues, and I never had any issues with TRT either. But I just feel that we're going down that route, and we should be looking at what we're eating first. That's all I'm saying.
I would have to agree with you. I mean, I can see there's arguments on both sides, but I think it's going to get. You can see. I actually made a prediction that when the GLP-1s start weaning, they're going to bring out peptide YY, which kind of works in the gut.
That's the problem. That's the problem there.
It's that. But let's get into it next week. Let's talk about peptides. So everybody in the chats, get your peptide engines on. We'll talk about it next week, and talk about some stuff that pops up all through the week anyway. But boys, awesome. Thanks for being here today and hanging out. I love you. I love hanging out with you guys and talking about all things. We've had a great week. Next week, we got a couple interviews coming out. We have Richard Smith coming soon, Mark.
Richard's coming soon, very, very soon,
So that will be a really good one.
I got in touch with Stephen, but he's busy this week. I'm pretty sure I'll get him back on in December.
Perfect, because that was a great thing. So if anybody's diabetes curious, whether you're type 1 or type 2, you want to know, it was like an hour clinic, and it was stuff that I thought I do know quite a bit of stuff about it, but it's a different level, and it explains a lot of the whys that I kind of know, but it was amazing, and I loved having him on. It was great, and a really great conversation. That is on our channel. It's all about diabetes or diabetes exposed, one of the two. Our talk about diabetes is on there too. So anybody that's, anybody that knows somebody that has type 1 diabetes, reach out to Peter. This guy knows what he's talking about. I actually had a friend of a friend come in yesterday. She's going to start following you, Peter, because I didn't know she was a type 1 diabetic. And, you bring a lot of good stuff to the table. So speaking of that, my friend, where do people find you?
Well, if it's about type 1 diabetes, the low carb perspective on TikTok, and for now, the Dutch carnivore on YouTube and Instagram. So my carnivore story is mostly on the Dutch carnivore accounts.
How's that going for you, the TikTok, the low carb perspective? I haven't really been keeping up with it.
Well, I'm a bit surprised. So it has been inactive, and I started about 2 weeks ago or so, and TikTok has been quite okay with me this time. I'm surprised, but one thing that bothers me a lot is that the typical videos that you see on TikTok about diabetes is always about the diabetes awareness, and we're so sad that it was not our fault, but we got this autoimmune disease and all this stuff, and we can still eat everything we want. And so I try to make it different a bit.
Well, good. So check it out. Go support Peter for sure. And Mark, Where do people find you, buddy?
Guys, you can find me on Fitness Beyond Time on social media. But I want to reach out to Lisa. I don't know if you're still watching, Lisa, but you mentioned earlier that you struggled with, you had the ADHD. We're actually going to be doing a talk on this, myself and Victoria and another lady called Nancy. And I'd really like to get you on if you're interested in coming on. And we can do it on this show or we can do it on my one. But it's a big topic that I want to talk about. I've done a few videos on it at the moment. So if you're interested, reach out to me by email at ennismark93@gmail.com. Let's have a conversation and let's set it up for next week or the week after.
And make sure everybody go follow Byron Funk, Carnivore Beats on YouTube, Carnivore Beats on TikTok. He brings the bombs, man. I love it. And we really do appreciate all his help with our channel and helping us with music. If anybody wants to reach out to me, I'm at Tony_Food for Thought. Right now, I'm in the middle of doing a 21-day reset challenge with my friends, family, and clients. You can find me on TonyStewartCoaching.com/challenge if you're interested. It's still time. Yes, Peter, or no, Peter, I'm not drinking coffee just for you, buddy. There's no coffee going down. So I'm day 2 into that. We're gonna continue this for probably about a month. And so thanks for everybody for coming on. We do appreciate you. Make sure you're following the carnivore community worldwide. I believe they've got Sean Baker coming up next week. He's coming on their podcast, so that'll be fun. All the people out there in our world, thank you. We appreciate you, and we will see you next Sunday when we talk about peptides. We're going to get into it.
Yep.
See you later.
Thanks, guys.